What is up, guys? So today we're going to talk about things that happen in the prison. You all know my story. I've spent many moons in jail because I was a heroin addict, a crackhead, smackhead, whatever you want to call it. I'm in recovery now, but I spent many years in and out of jail, and I remember the stipendiary magistrate, who is a judge in Doncaster. He's fair, but he's firm, or he was anyway. And if you showed him that you was trying, you know, and you were making an effort, he would cut you a break. But if you didn't make any efforts to better yourself, he would just slam you with a maximum. And I can remember he said to me, he said, "Prison for you is an occupational hazard," and it was. You know, so I spent many years in jail, all different jails around England. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, before I start, I've just got to mention Chris Murphy. Oh, it's like a mosquito pecking at my head. He must make like 5-6 videos a day about me, tagging me all the time. He calls himself the king of the roast, but he's just not very good at roasting people. He's terrible at it. And he's constantly trying to roast me. He made a video yesterday. His problem is, right, he's always cracked out of his mind. I think what he does is every single day before his video, what he does, he'll have a massive crack pipe and go... and then do the video, because he's fucking throwing his sin all over. He's like, "Oh, this spud gun paddy." It's like, what are you doing, mate? And he made a video yesterday called Brown Gun, or fucking no idea. And I tried watching it, and it was just an incoherent mess. And I'm sat there thinking, I should probably be offended here, but I've got no idea what he's saying. And I found out yesterday, I don't know why no one told me, he's only 3 foot tall. The guy's a legal midget. So what I would say to him is, right, stop bothering me, stop pecking at me head, because I did a roast about him about a week ago, right? And it was a very mild roast. And he got offended, started crying and left the internet. But he's back now. And he's constantly badgering me, constantly harassing me. And I'm fed up of it. I've had it up to here. And I'll tell you this, right, if you keep bugging me, then I'm just going to do a proper roast of you. And I don't want to do it because, I mean, just look at you. It looks like real life has roasted you enough. Your face looks like it's falling off. Old leather face. He's like 3'2" midget. He's cracked out of his mind every single day. So I really don't want to do a proper roast of you. But if you carry on, I will. And I promise you, you will not like it. You'll probably end up swinging from the rafters. So what I would suggest is go and chill with your mate. Go and find your mate, the big, fat, sweaty, stinky rat pull. And, I don't know, maybe start a I Hate Paddy fan club or something. Just go and roast Bobby Three Teeth or, you know, somebody else. Just leave me alone. But anyway, let's get straight into it. So the reason what made me prompt this video was I was watching online, there's a little bit of beef going back and forth with Jordan P and Brett May. I don't know if it's real. You can't tell these days. Ever since Shadow Bacon came in and started doing all these fake beefs, you don't know what's real anymore, do you? Because they pretend to be beefing so that you'll watch the videos just for the clicks and views. And so I don't know if it's real, but what's happened is it looks like Joe P is not happy with Brett because he taxed one of his mates whilst he was in prison and took a phone off him. That does not surprise me in the slightest. There's a reason I don't talk shit about Brett May on my videos, because the guy is the real deal, you know, in prison anyway. He's a big violent lump. He's not like all these other guys on here, like Decker Heggie and people like that. You can't tell how big they are. So Decker, he's only like 5'2", but he looks massive. But with Brett, he's only slightly smaller than me. So I'm 6'4", so I would say Brett's like 6'2", maybe 6'3". So he's a big lump. And if he gets you in a cell, there's really not much you can do about it. But yeah, he said, and Jadu P was saying something about, oh, you better sort something out, I'm not happy. And I think, fucking hell, he would absolutely kill you in a fight. Because, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to hate on Jadu P, I'm really not. Because I think deep down inside, there is a good lad in there trying to get out. It's just hidden by all this fake bravado and all these assassins and trying to be a tough guy. But, you know, when you just look at him, you can tell he's soft. I mean, you look at someone like Brett, covered in scar tissue, machete wounds all over. He's got fucking scars all over his fists from busting people's heads. He's fighting in the BKFC. He's getting rammed up the road. He's fucking, you know, he's about that life. And then you look at JDP, he just looks like Bevo. He dresses the same, soft as shite. He's got soft skin. You can see he's just a soft guy. So yeah, if Brett did get him in a cell, he would fucking kill him. And he was saying, Brett was saying, listen, JDP, you better hope that you don't get locked up with me, because I'll be bending you over and sticking a spoon up your ass and taking the drugs out. And that got me thinking, you know, would that happen? And I can tell you, it does happen. It's not very, it is pretty rare. It's not common, but it does happen. Not with a spoon, but taking drugs out of people's arse, because I've seen it. I've been on the wing. I wasn't in the cell. I didn't see them do it, but I was on the wing when it happened. And the way they do it is, they'll, I've done it myself. What they do is they'll pack their arse, they know they're going to court, they'll pack their arse full of drugs, you know, wrap it in condoms, stick it up their arse, and then when they get into the prison, they'll take it back out. But I don't know if you can do that now, because they've got this big chair what you have to sit on. I've not been locked up for a while, but they didn't have all that back when I was doing jail. And and what I used to do is I used to put Valium around my waistband. So if I got locked up, I'd have like 60 Valium around my waistband, and then I'd have some currency, you know, to swap for gear. But you have to be careful who you tell. And another little trick what I used to do is, because I used to smoke heroin, I've never used needles. I would smoke it, you'd get a little black blob on your teeth from sucking heroin through the tube, and then I would wipe it on my t-shirt. And I would wear the same t-shirt all the time, and you'd end up with big lumps of heroin on my t-shirt. And I would be going through reception, and they'd just look at it and just think, it's just a scruffy crackhead, it's probably dirt or something. So then I'd get onto the wing and I'd peel it all off and stick it on the foil and have a boot. So yeah, that's how they get it in the prison. But you've got to be careful who you tell, because like if you're in the cell, obviously your cellmate's going to know about it, innit? Because you're doing it in front of him. You usually end up sharing it with your cellmate, and that's who they'll go after. Say you get someone like Brett May, Danny Christie and Paul Venice. Right? Obviously I know that's never going to happen, but just imagine that. You get those three dudes coming into your cell, right, grabbing you up, fucking give you a couple digs and saying, oh, your cellmate, where's his drugs, where's his drugs? You know, there's nothing you can do. So they'll strong arm the cellmate, get the information, and he'll say like, well, it's up his arse, he's got it stashed up his arse. And then that's it, then that's the green light. They'll wait by the time, and then they'll wait till he's on his own, and they don't use a spoon. What they'll do is they'll go and get gloves from the servery, because on the servery, they're serving food, you need to wear like surgical gloves type things. And so they'll get some surgery gloves, they'll go in the cell, bosh, Black and Decker, give him a few digs, twist him up, get him in a headlock, bend him over, pull his pants down and go up his arse and take the drugs out. And that's how they do it. And I was on the wing when it happened with this kid, and I'm not going to mention his name. I think he's dead now, but I'm not sure. But he was a real nasty piece of work. It's the same guy who cut the bloke with the, what are they called? The carpet cutters, Stanley blade. He thought he'd nicked some money off him, so he fucking sliced all his face with a razor blade. Absolute mess of him. And it's that same guy, and he was padded up with one of my mates, and he fucking beat the dog shit out of him because he farted in the cell. That's what this is the guy he is. He's a real nasty piece of work. If I said his name, anyone from Donny would be like, fuck it, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. He's a nutter. And listen, I don't like people farting in the cell. It's disgusting. I used to tell them, fucking put your ass up against the door crack and blow it out there, you know. I don't want to be smelling your fucking fart. But I would never beat the dog shit out of someone for it. So yeah, they'd go in, they'd grab them up, and I know there'll be people watching this saying, oh, they won't fucking do it to me, I'd cut them, but even if you've got a blade, imagine three big dudes who can really fight. You might be able to slash one of them, but then you're just going to get your head smashed in even more, and you're going to end up fucking either dead or in hospital, and you're going to get your drugs took. So there's really nothing you can do. You just have to you just have to make sure you don't tell anyone. That is the main key. Do not even tell your cellmate. I remember when I took some drugs in, and this is what I did. Right, it's like I say, usually I would take tablets. I wouldn't usually take heroin because I'd end up smoking it, so I wouldn't be able to keep hold of it. But there was one time when I went to court and I wasn't expecting to go to jail. I only had probably had 4 bags on me, and I did one in the toilets and kept the rest, and I put it behind my foreskin. And I went up to court thinking they're going to say, yeah, just a fine, go on your way. But they didn't. They says, right, yeah, 28 days or something. I was like, what? Fucking group 4 come out the back, and it all happened so fast. It was just, I didn't have time to react. So I've ended up going to prison, and they put me in a cell with a fucking tax man. I couldn't believe it. Just a real horrible cunt from Donny. Again, I'm not going to say his name, but I think he's dead now as well, or at least he's cabbaged. I know he got attacked with a hammer for taxing one of the drug dealers. But anyway, they put me in the cell with him, and I thought, fuck's sake. You know, if I pull this gear out now, then there's a chance he might fucking rob me or tax me, or at the very least I'm going to have to share it with him. But I didn't trust him at all. I thought, fuck that, I'm not telling him. So what I had to do, I had to go on a covert mission just to try and have a fucking boot without nobody noticing, which is really hard, especially in Doncatraz, because if you can't go in your cell, there's hardly anywhere else to go. You can't go in the showers. There's people in and out of the showers all the time. So what I did was, if you've been to Doncatraz, you'll know at every wing there's like a broom cupboard at the corner. I believe that they lock it now, but back then it was open all the time, so you could go in and get your mop and bucket and clean your cell out, and they just leave it open. So I went in there, and I noticed there was nobody around there. So I've gone in and I've shut the door. And I'm sat there trying to set my gear up, but there's people going past all the time. I'm like, fucking hell, I'm putting it away, and then I'm putting it, I thought, I can't do this. So then I've gone upstairs into the shower room upstairs, and I'm sat in the toilet, and there's nobody there. I'm like fucking buzzing. So I'm sat over the boot, and then the door opens. I was like, fuck's sake, and I'm really rattling hard, you know, I'm detoxing, I'm sweating, I'm fucking in a real bad way. And this dude comes in, and I looked up like that. And he just went, fuck you know. He says, you look like you fucked me, and just fucking left. I was like buzzing. Just ended up smoking this gear. And that was the lengths I had to go through. And you end up becoming good buddies with your cellmate eventually, but you know, it only lasts while you're in prison. I remember, you know, like I say, I got good buddies with him. He was rattling pretty hard as well. And because I'd had this little boot of gear, you know, I was laid in bed ready to go to sleep at because you can't sleep when you're rattling, you're up all night, it's horrible. And it got to 11 o'clock and I'm laid in bed dozing off, and he was on the top bunk crying, you know, this big hard tax man. And he's like, oh, Paddy, don't leave me, Paddy. I'm like, fucking hell, I thought you were supposed to be hard. He's like, oh, don't leave me. Oh, talk to me, Paddy, talk to me. And he's got the music on, and I specifically remember the song. It was Eminem's song, the tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why. Dear Stan, you know, that's the song. And he turned it up right loud, fucking 12 o'clock at night, 1 o'clock in the morning. And, and I was trying to go to sleep, and he's like, oh, don't leave me. But then when he got out, you know, we was buddies. When we got out, he's tried fucking robbing me. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think he was trying to rob me money or something, and he was trying to set me up, and I just thought, fucking hell. And I put it on him. I said, you're just fucking trying to rob me. And he says, oh, I'm not going to rob you. You're my old cellmate. But he was. And he ended up becoming a beggar the last time I saw him. I was out around town with this lass at the time. And he was all outside Weatherspoons with fucking Andy Smith blanket on him. And I gave him 20 quid. Because, you know, I always feel sorry for him. Even if they're horrible cunts, you know, I'll still try and help him out and give him a bit of money. And I was working back then full time, so I had loads of money anyway. But yeah, that's what it's like in prison with the drugs, the lengths you have to go to. And when you're in jail, drugs will make people do crazy things. You'll get, it's like little weasels who, you know, who can't fight sleep, but give them a razor blade. I never understood that. You get to prison, and the first thing you give you is a pack containing a razor blade. It's like, here's your knife making fucking kit. Go and make a blade. So that's what they do. They use a toothbrush. They take the blade out of the razor, put it in the toothbrush, melt it all in. So it's fucking. They usually do a double blade, so you can't stitch it up if there's two blades. You know, makes it harder to stitch. And yeah, I've never understood that. But you get some little crackhead or some little baghead who's rattling for drugs, and you know, one of the top lads on the wing who's got all the drugs will say, "Yeah, go and slash him up, I'll give you a tenner bag." And you know, this might be a big strong dude who one-on-one fist fight would knock the fuck out of him, but if he's in a queue waiting for his tea, somebody comes up, whoosh, slashes his neck and he's gone. You know, it's as simple as that. There's no what he could do. There's nothing he could do in that situation. And that's what it's like in jail. Me personally, I never really chased drugs, because you get people who are just constantly looking for drugs day in, day out. I had one of my old cellmates, a lovely bloke. He was about 50-year-old, but he was always looking for spice and puffing on spice in front of me in the cell. I mean, it didn't bother me. I didn't touch it. I've never touched spice. And he was constantly looking for it, going around all the cells, and he ended up coming back and biting him on the arse because he got took hostage in a cell. I've spoke about it before you run to the comments and say, "Yeah, you said this before." He went into a cell with these bunch of scousers, and they fucking locked the door, dragged him in, barricaded the door so the screws couldn't get in, tied him up to the chair, got a razor blade out and cut all his face, all his neck, and took him hostage for a couple hours, him and this other kid, this YO. And they end up having a big standoff. They tossed a flashbang grenade in and got everybody out, but he was a fucking absolute mess. And they did all that just because they didn't want to be in Doncatraz. They wanted to ship out. And that's what they used to do back then. They'd take hostages and slash people up because they knew then they'd ship them out. And so he's got all these scars all over his face. He ended up having to grow a beard because he was such a nasty. He used to wake up in the night screaming because of stuff like this. And this is the sort of stuff what happens in prison, you know, what people don't talk about. But yeah, I never really chased drugs in prison because I thought, well, you know, it's drugs what's got me in here. So the last thing I want is more drugs. But if somebody came up and offered it to me for free, or, you know, maybe even next door neighbours get some drugs in and says, "Hey, do you want a 3-item bag?" And I'll just say, "Hey, go on then, have a little toot." It's all spice though now. Last time I was locked up, it was all spice. There was a kid next door, and like I said, my cellmate was always fucking smoking spice. And when he got out, he left me with a bag full of this spice, what he had. And Subby as well, he had it all saved up. And because I was sharing all my munchies with him and looking after him, he left me these couple bags of drugs, and I'm thinking, fucking hell, I don't know what to do with it. I don't smoke it. So what I did was, I gave it to the next door neighbour, who was a little fucking dog. Because I looked around the wing, I thought, who's the biggest dog on this wing? Because then I asked him to sell it, and I thought, well, if he don't sell it, then I need someone I can punch their heads in. So I found the smallest, weakest dude on the wing. And I gave him these drugs, and I says, "Yeah, go and sell them." I says, "Are you on education?" And he was a proper dog. He was watching that. I can't remember what it's called. You know, the show on BBC One with all the archaeologists, where they just sat digging and looking for fossils and shit. I used to watch that. And I thought, right, I'll give him this to sell. I says, "Are you down at education?" I knew he would be. And he was like, "Oh, yes." So I says, do you want to sell these?" I says, "We'll go halves on it. You just get 6 items for it, and we'll have 3 each." And he was like, "Oh, yes, excellent." And then at the end of the week, he's given me the stuff. I says, "Oh, did you sell it straight away then?" He says, "No, I smoked it." He's fucking blazed the lot and just paid me for it, which is just bizarre. I thought, there's no way he's going to be on spice. But fucking everybody's on spice now. And the wing I was on, there was another guy on there selling spice, and his name was Paddy. I was like, fuck's sake. So I had people coming up to me all the time. "Oh, have you got some spice? Oh, do this, do that." I was like, "I ain't got any. It's not me. It's somebody else." And then they'd come back an hour later. I remember this kid from Sheffield. He said, "Dad said they ain't got no." He says, "Dad told me they ain't got no." I says, "I fucking ain't got no. It's not me. It's somebody else." And yeah, so it was awkward as fuck, because then if ever there was a visitor out, it'd be, "Paddy." I'd be like, "Yeah." And we'd both look round, you know, because we both called Paddy. But yeah, drugs in prison, man, it's bad news. That's where like 90% of the trouble comes from. I remember one kid from Donny, he was a fucking maniac. He wasn't that good at fighting, but he would just fight absolutely anyone. And he was just constant trouble. He owed loads of money out everywhere. And they'd let him out of his cell, he'd go up there and someone would bang him. He'd be rolling about with him, and then they'd put him back in his cell, let him out. Somebody else would be jumping on him because he was just laying on drugs all over. And he was just fighting with everyone. It's fucking crazy. I was like, how can you do that? Day in, day out. But it's drugs, man. It makes people crazy. But anyway, that's the 20-minute mark. So, yeah, drugs in prison. Spice, it's taken over. Last time I was there, everybody was on Spice. I think Murphy's on Spice as well. Yeah, last warning to Murphy. Stop tagging me. Stop doing fake drugs tests. Stop pecking at my head, or else I'm really going to roast you and you will not enjoy it. And plus you're only 3 foot tall, so unsure. If you like this video, press the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Nerf de pap.